Let's work on a SQL question using left join and coalesce. This is episode 5 of my Christmas series, where every day leading up to Christmas, we break down a SQL question in painful detail. Today's question is, some elves took time off after the holiday rush, but not everyone has returned to work. List all the elves by name, showing their return date. If they have not returned from vacation, list their return date as still resting. We have two tables for this question. We have the elves table with information on the elves, and then we have the vacations table with information on the elf vacations. Now looking at the question, we know that we want to get our elves by name, which we can see is coming from that first elves table, but we also want the return date, which is coming from this vacations table. We're gonna need a join. But what kind of join do we want? So the hint is right here in the question. We want to list all elves regardless of their vacation status, which means that we want all rows in the elves table, so we're gonna need a left join. Now let's start to fill our query in. Since we want all rows from the elves table, we're gonna put that in the from clause, and then we know we want to left join that vacations table using the common column elf ID. Now let's fill in the select statement. The question says we want elf names, so we're gonna put that in first, and then we have the instruction to list return dates as still resting if the elves haven't returned from vacation. So immediately this tells me I'm going to need a coalesce, which means that if the first value is available, return that. If not, return the second value. In this case, still resting. But now here's something really tricky. Because return date is of date type, but we want to coalesce to a string value, we need to first cast our return date to a string format. And now we have a query that works. This is 24 days of SQL. Next one's tomorrow. Follow along for more.